Create, alter, drop database using SQL syntax. In this video, you will learn how to create, alter, drop database using SQL syntax. How to create a database. To create a database, you have to use create database syntax. Create database and the database name. So create database and the name of the database. Let's say you want to create a database called MyLearningDB. So the syntax will be create database MyLearningDB. Once you execute the SQL syntax, you will get the message command completed successfully. How to rename a database? Use alter keyword when you have to modify something in an existing object. So the syntax to rename a database is alter database, database name, modify name equal to new database name. If you want to rename the database from MyLearningDB to MyLearning, the syntax is going to be alter database MyLearningDB modify name equal to MyLearning. Once you execute this SQL syntax, you will get the message the database name MyLearning has been set. How to delete the database? Use drop keyword when you have to delete existing object. The syntax to delete a database is drop database, database name. If you want to delete your database MyLearning, so the syntax is going to be drop database MyLearning. Once you execute it, you will get the message commands completed successfully. Okay, so now it's time to see in practical. Let's flip to SQL Server Management Studio. Create database MyLearningDB. Let me execute it. Now you can see the message command completed successfully. Command completed successfully means there is no error in the SQL syntax and the SQL query executed successfully. So the database creation was successful. Under databases, MyLearning is not listed. Right click on databases, then click on refresh. You can see MyLearningDB is now listed. Let me expand it. Here you can see database diagrams, tables, views, external resources, synonyms, programmability, service broker, storage and security. Each time you create a new database, it will contain database diagrams, tables, views, external resources, synonyms, programmability, service broker, storage and security. What's going to happen if I execute the same query again? Let me execute it. Database MyLearningDB already exists. Choose a different name. So you cannot create a database with the same name. Each database name has to be unique. Alter database MyLearningDB, modify name equal to MyLearning. This query will rename the database from MyLearningDB to MyLearning. Let me execute it. So now you can see the message, the database name MyLearning has been set. Right click on databases and click on refresh. Database name got renamed. Let me execute it again. Database MyLearningDB does not exist. Make sure the name is entered correctly. As I have already renamed from MyLearningDB to MyLearning and the database MyLearningDB does not exist. Drop database MyLearning. This query will delete the database. Let me execute it. So now you can see the message command completed successfully. Let me refresh the databases. You can see that database MyLearning is not available anymore. If I execute the query again, it's thrown an error, cannot drop the database MyLearning because it does not exist or you don't have permission. Create, alter, drop database using GUI. In this video, you will learn how to create, alter, drop database using GUI. Using SQL Server Management Studio, you can also create or alter or drop database without SQL query. To create a database, right-click on the databases, then click on New Database. So here, database name. Let me enter it as MyLearningDB. Owner, leave it as it is. Click on OK button. Now you can see MyLearningDB is created. How to rename a database? I would like to rename MyLearningDB to MyLearning. To rename a database, right-click on the database that you would like to rename and click on Rename. Now you can see that the name got selected. So start typing the new name you would like to change. So MyLearning and click somewhere outside. Now you can see the database name rename from MyLearningDB to MyLearning. How to delete database? To delete a database, right-click on it and click on Delete. Delete backup and restore history information for the database. Here it is selected. Also select Close Existing Connections. Close Existing Connections will forcefully close all existing connections. Click on OK. MyLearning database got deleted. One important point I would like to share with you: always practice using SQL syntax. Using the GUI, even without knowing the SQL syntax, you can create, alter, drop database and tables. But when you are going to attend an interview, you will be asked to write query, or in your job while working on projects, you may not have access to the production SQL Server database. There may be a separate team who will be taking care of all this. Being a SQL developer, you have to provide them your SQL queries. So practice using SQL queries. Join the SQL Server course at waytoachieve.thinkpic.com. You can find the course URL and promo code in the description section, that is below the video. Use the promo code to avail discount. Please do subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Facebook. Thank you.